For months, we at Turning Point Action have been reaching out to the University of Arizona asking if we could rent lists and get access to the data of students to get them to register to vote. We're told, no, we don't do that. We don't do that. Well, in a huge scandal, Arizona State University and University of Arizona both shared all of the personal information and data of all the students, every single student at Arizona State University, and sent out this text message. Look at this, encouraging them to go vote and vote for Kamala Harris and register to vote. This is 150,000 students from all Arizona universities, including ASU and U of A, received personal text messages from Kamala Harris's campaign. Where did they get this data? Who shared it with them? We've tried to get access to it. We were given the runaround. The Trump campaign tried to get access to it. They were given the runaround. Joining us now is Jake Hoffman, who is state senator here in the great state of Arizona and also RNC committeeman for Arizona. Jake, what's going on here?
Well, Charlie, thanks for having me on. It looks like we have a potentially massive security breach at all Arizona public universities. You mentioned Arizona State and University of Arizona. However, it was also Northern Arizona University that is wrapped up in this scandal. And in fact, I had a tweet that went viral on this, over 10,000 reposts. And in the replies there, I've received documented evidence from students in Arizona, Nevada, Georgia, Michigan, New Mexico, New Hampshire, and North Carolina that this exact same text message or a very close variation of was sent to all of their students as well. Now, look, this is, as you mentioned, the Trump campaign, Turning Point Action. Republican groups have been attempting to get access to similar information so that they can provide valuable information about, voting deadlines and things like that to students on campus. Yet they've been repeatedly denied. But here it looks like the red carpet was rolled out for the Kamala Harris campaign. And that begs the question, what are these universities doing with our public tax dollars, and why are they favoring one political party over another?
Well, this is super illegal. And so Jake, walk me through who potentially could have done this. It may be the Board of Regents because they oversee the entire system, if I'm not mistaken, right? I think the Board of Regents oversees both the U of A, ASU, and NAU system, if I'm not mistaken. Who could have done this? Because it couldn't have even been Michael Crow. The president of U of A, from what I understand, is not a left-winger. He's more moderate. So who actually has the data and the ability to share it to the Kamala Harris campaign? That list would be very short.
That's a great point. Yeah. The U of A president, as you mentioned, is more of a moderate. He's been, generally a common sense individual.
Yes.
Arizona State University has a long track record of being highly partisan, but still it would take a massive coordinated effort between the three campuses, that I think it just doesn't seem reasonable or plausible, right? And so the reality is the Board of Regents would have access to this information. Now, that is an appointed board appointed by Katie Hobbs, a radical leftist Democrat governor. And, as we've seen with other agencies throughout the Arizona government, when Katie Hobbs or her staff ask them to do things that are ethically and potentially illegal, ethically questionable or illegal, they have jumped and done it immediately when she asks. And so I think this is really going to be a question of how high does this go? Who had knowledge and at what point? We have to get to the bottom of that, which is why I've opened a full investigation with the Senate Committee on Government in Arizona. We are going to chase this down. Look, we may not have all the answers by Election Day. Obviously, the text has gone out, so that cat is out of the bag. But we are going to stay on this issue because we cannot have public universities using taxpayer dollars to put their finger on the scale and potentially tip the favor of the election towards one side.
Yeah. So tell us in closing here, Jake, what does that recourse look like? Is there going to be a lawsuit filed? This is blatantly illegal.
Yeah, it could look like a number of things. It could look like defunding during the appropriations process. It could look like a lawsuit. It could look like, quite honestly, a investigation and prosecution by the Maricopa County attorney, which is a Republican. In Arizona, we have a Democrat attorney general. She's a radical Marxist. And so I doubt that she'll take this issue seriously since it's Kamala Harris. However, we do have a sensible Republican county attorney who's running for re-election, and should she get reelected, this seems very much in her wheelhouse, considering that Arizona State University and Northern Arizona University and University of Arizona all have campuses within Maricopa County. So we'll be pursuing all avenues possible to make sure that there's accountability on this issue.